Be nonchalant. In a world drenched in noise, reaction, and desperation, nonchalance is not apathy. It's lethal composure. While others scream for validation, the nonchalant man remains unreadable. His silence is unnerving, his detachment magnetic. He does not chase, he does not flinch. And that's exactly why people can't look away. This isn't about not feeling. It's about choosing when and where to show it. Mastery, not numbness. Nonchalance is the ability to feel everything and show nothing, to move through chaos without being shaped by it. It's not that he doesn't care, it's that he refuses to be seen caring. And because he withholds, others offer. They lean in. They try to crack him, but they never do. Machiavelli knew that appearance is a weapon. Control your image, and you control perception. Let the world guess your motives while you quietly orchestrate outcomes. The man who doesn't react becomes unpredictable, and what can't be predicted can't be manipulated. Uncertainty becomes his armor. Mystery becomes his leverage. Power isn't in domination. It's in discipline. It's in stillness. The nonchalant man doesn't need to impress, doesn't rush to explain, doesn't try to win the crowd. His restraint does the talking. He holds his space while others overextend. He watches while they unravel. He acts only when it matters, and when he does, it's decisive, deliberate, final. His energy is rare, that's why it commands respect. Others may call it cold, distant, even arrogant. But what they're really feeling is a man who's not driven by impulse, who's not ruled by external noise. He is centered, deliberate. He owns his emotions instead of renting them out to every situation. His silence makes people reflect. His presence makes people adjust. This isn't a costume. This is not performance. It's the result of years spent mastering himself, burning through the need to be seen, to be liked, to be right. He doesn't panic in silence. He uses it. Others fill silence with weakness. He fills it with gravity. Every breath is calculated. Every glance, a move, every pause, intentional. His stillness is not absence. It's control. He lets others reveal themselves. Their emotions, their weaknesses, their desperation. Meanwhile, he remains composed, calculating. People chase what eludes them. They reveal themselves to what remains hidden. That's how he builds advantage. Every situation becomes a chessboard, every silence, a strategy. In conflict he pauses, in pressure he breathes. He's never rushed, never dragged out of position. His emotions don't lead, his principles do. He chooses his battles, and because he chooses so rarely, every move carries weight. He doesn't play every game, he plays the game he designed. Confidence isn't about taking up space, it's about not needing to. Real confidence is quiet. It doesn't shout, it doesn't perform, it watches, it waits, it moves with purpose. The man who understands this becomes untouchable, not because he's distant, but because he's sovereign. He does not flinch at accusation. He does not scramble to explain. He is his own validation. People don't remember noise. They remember presence. They remember how calm made them feel small, how silence made them nervous, how composure made them doubt themselves. That's the power of the nonchalant man. He doesn't announce himself. He arrives, and everything shifts. He alters the emotional climate just by being still. He's not detached because he doesn't feel. He's detached because he's done reacting, because every emotion has been filtered through fire. Pain didn't shatter him, it shaped him. And now he's a weapon forged in silence. He learned to pause, not because he's unsure, but because power speaks last. He is composed in conversations that turn heated. He is relaxed in rooms filled with tension. He doesn't respond to every provocation because he doesn't see every provocation as worthy. That is his filter, not emotion, precision. He speaks little, but when he does, his words land with weight. He's not impressive by accident. He's not commanding by luck. He has trained stillness like a craft, mastered neutrality like a tool. While others rehearse charisma, he studies control. The nonchalant man is not a myth. He's a discipline. He's what happens when you stop chasing relevance and start owning your space. When you stop apologizing for your calm. When you stop performing for the crowd and start directing the stage. His composure isn't a tactic. It's a lifestyle. In a world where everyone's addicted to reacting, his stillness is disruptive. In a culture where people demand constant validation, his indifference is magnetic. When others run toward attention, he walks the opposite way. He does not compete for spotlight. He controls the stage without ever asking for it. He doesn't need to be understood. In fact, he prefers the misunderstanding. It gives him space. He lets others project, guess, and over-explain. Meanwhile, he remains untouched, unread. Their need to define him becomes his shield. Their assumptions give him leverage. The nonchalant man studies the room. He lets the insecure dominate the air, waiting patiently as they expose themselves. He does not interrupt. He does not correct. He observes, collects data, stores it for later. Because he knows timing is everything. While others spend their energy trying to be heard, he conserves his for the moment that matters. And when it arrives, he speaks once, and everyone listens. Because people recognize presence. They feel authority. They respond to certainty that isn't performed but embodied. He walks into rooms like he belongs, not because he demands it, but because he's already decided it. He doesn't wait for permission. He doesn't explain his pace. His certainty is internal, and it radiates. Others are addicted to urgency. They sprint into problems. They race toward chaos. The nonchalant man paces himself. He arrives when the noise is burned out, and that's when people finally hear. Nonchalance is not passive. It's active containment, the ability to carry heat and never let it spill, to hold power without leaking, to navigate madness without getting lost in it. This is not a trick. It's not charm. It's not a performance. It's posture. It's principle. It's psychological warfare conducted in plain sight. And when you master it, you stop reacting to the world, and the world starts reacting to you. That's when you become the gravitational center of any space. That's when stillness becomes influence. That's when silence becomes power. That's when presence becomes unforgettable. To continue embodying this presence, the nonchalant man sharpens his mind like a blade. He reads not for pleasure, but for strategy. He studies history not to admire it, but to learn from it. Every great ruler, every tactician, every stoic philosopher, he takes notes. Because to remain still in the storm, you must know how storms work. His calm is not luck, it's knowledge. His lifestyle is minimal by design. Not because he can't have more, but because he chooses less. Noise is expensive, clutter is costly. He surrounds himself with what fuels clarity. Every item, every connection, every moment is intentional. He chooses quality over quantity in all things, thoughts, words, and even battles. He trains his body to echo his mind. Calm strength, efficient power. He lifts not to impress, but to stay prepared. Because strength is not about how much you show. It's about what you can carry without saying a word. He cultivates presence with small daily rituals. Silence in the morning, reflection in the evening, no scrolling, no shouting into digital voids. He doesn't announce his process. He doesn't live for others' reactions. He lives for internal alignment, for mastery. Even in relationships, his detachment isn't distance, it's sovereignty. He loves fully, but not foolishly. He connects deeply, but never dependently. His emotions are whole, but never handed away. He gives from fullness, not need. That's why his love feels safe and powerful. To become this man requires subtracting, not adding. Removing the need for performance, cutting the craving for praise, dismantling the desire to always be right. Nonchalance is built in the quiet when no one's watching. It's born when you resist the itch to explain yourself, to prove your value, to chase someone else's spotlight. The longer you practice this, the more automatic it becomes. Stillness becomes your default. Presence becomes your reputation. Respect follows naturally. Influence becomes effortless. The room quiets when you speak, not because you're loud, but because you're rare. You start to sense the desperation in others, the speed, the hunger, and you no longer envy it. You see what it costs them, and you refuse to pay that price. You know better. You know that true power whispers, true control doesn't beg, and that makes you a threat in the best way. You're no longer competing, you're no longer chasing, you are anchoring. That's why you can walk away from attention, from arguments, from praise, from conflict, and never lose a drop of power. That's why your absence feels like pressure. That's why people lean in when you say nothing. Because the nonchalant man lives by one unshakable truth. If you control yourself, you control the room. And when you control the room, you don't have to move fast. You simply wait, and everything else moves around you.